Hey, welcome to your Time In podcast. I'm your host, Adrian Shepard. I'm also the founder of Your Coaching Company. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your day to join us. Your Time In is about checking in back into life. Okay, so whether you taking a break from something that you always wanted to do, or there's a dream that you want to start and you're struggling to start it, this is the podcast for you. Break time is over. Let's jump in. What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Thank you for tuning in to Your Time In podcast. Today's episode, I'm actually really looking forward to. I know we did get a question on Instagram. We're going to try to answer that question too. But definitely looking forward to just having the talk, the conversation. The key is in the episode title. We're going to talk, okay? We're going to talk to Jasmine. She was my realtor. She's a good realtor. She's a great realtor. She is very knowledgeable on the subject, and I trust her completely when it comes to real estate. Outside of my mother and one fraternity brother, there's nobody else I trust. So that should speak volumes of the talent and skills and ability that she possesses. Okay. So without further ado, let's bring in Jasmine.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I had a good day today. It's Wednesday, midweek push. Looking forward to the weekend and Friday. But I'm having a good day. How was your day?
Good. Good. Work. Caught up on Handmaid's Tale.
I
So
gotta
good.
actually, that's one show that everybody always talks about, and I have not actually seen anything outside of the trailer. And I think I saw the trailer like a couple of years ago, but I heard the show is actually like really good.
It's really, really good. And I'm not a TV person.
What? Okay, I'm gonna add that to my honey to-do list. Maybe Jackie will watch that with me. We can convince her to watch some television with me, and maybe that's a good show. We do have our shows that like we watch, so we'll add that one to the list as one that we can spend some quality time together on.
That's a good one.
All right, so if you want to go ahead and take some time and introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Jasmine Vasquez. I am a real estate agent. I work with the Nellis Group. We fall under the Keller Williams Fairfax Gateway umbrella. I am also a mom to three girls, almost 19, 13, and 11, and a boy. He is 9. And I cover all of Northern Virginia, all the way down to Culpeper. And I go out towards Front Royal. I was there yesterday, and Loudoun County. And I actually love going out west. It's so beautiful. There's no views in the world like it, especially at this time.
What? So that's a lot. It's like already there's a lot that you balance even in your opening statement. So how do you find time to like do all of those things and make time for self? Because as a coach, I'm always interested in time for self. So how do you find that balance?
So the first thing is I live and die by my calendar. That is the first thing. I was trained. I don't know. Have you read the book Miracle Mornings, where you get up and you tackle the
No,
hardest
but I
things?
will write it down. Miracle.
Yes, Miracle Mornings. I'm going to send you one. I'm going to
Oh,
send you
appreciate it.
Miracle
Okay.
Mornings. And we read a lot of books at the Nellis Group. We're big on personal growth and business growth. You can't be just business. You've got to be a human too, you know? And Miracle Mornings just teaches you how to get up and tackle the day. If you leave the hardest thing for the end of the day, it's not going to get done, which is why a lot of people say, like, work out in the morning, do that first. And when I first started with real estate 7 years ago, I even used to schedule my laundry. And I hate
Oh,
dirty laundry.
wow.
I hate dirty laundry. And I just had to get disciplined so that, and I would tell my kids, you guys have got to clean up behind yourselves, take care of stuff. And that way, when I'm off or when I'm home, we can go and we can go to restaurants, we can go shopping, we can do fun things, but we've got to take care of business first, which
Yeah.
includes the house. And that's just it, it's a matter of just prioritizing the entire day. And something that I was taught was to block my day into 30-minute segments, because 24 hours seems like you have a lot of time, but it's not.
I
I
think
completely.
that I think that's kind of like bear with me, I need to change this audio, but I think that that's one of the things I struggle with the most is, if I have my day-to-day government job, then I have the coaching business, and then I have the podcast. And then that balance, right? That work-life balance one is like super important for me. But I was never a calendar person. I became a calendar person like probably 2020. Um,
Mm,
and what we ended up doing was me and my wife made calendars. And that kind of helped out a lot. So she has this calendar, then I'd have my calendars, and then we would have appointments for the kids and everything like that. But I have never sat down and got intimate with the calendar. I don't think many people do. I think a lot of people use it, but then they don't utilize it. You know what I mean? Like it's so easy
correct.
to
It's
make an
like a grocery list.
yeah. I feel like a lot of people you do that kind of crutch versus kind of what you're saying, which is having like that intimate knowledge and relationship with your calendar.
Right.
So
I get to a point where like some of my clients don't realize I have kids because it's like I'm available, but
yeah,
it's by design. I love my kids and I'm always going to be a mom first. That's, if you know me, you know that my kids are number one.
absolutely.
They're my why, but I still got to live and I still have to work. And so being able to utilize the calendar, literally living by the calendar has really saved me. And I mean, sometimes I put silly stuff on there, like, I mean, anything, and like I said at the beginning, I even put laundry, cooking dinner, um, because I had to figure out that routine. And so
So
now we've kind of got it down packed.
So what got you started on the real estate? Like what was that kind of like that journey? Because I know a little bit about your background and that transition you
Mhm.
made, right? And so what kind of like I actually wanted to ask you this when we were working together, but what kind of sparked that change? Because you're really good at what you do.
Thank you. So for many years in a prior life, I worked for Sterling Incorporated, which is K Jewelers, Shaw Jewelers, Jared. They own the monopoly. Sterling owns all of the jewelry stores. People think they're buying at different places. You're buying from the same company, right? And I worked there for 8 years. I was in management. Then I became a stay-at-home mom. And when my son was he was about to turn 3. I have a really good friend who is actually the expansion director for the Nellis Group, and I had to have surgery. And she said, "Let me pick you up for lunch." My kids were with my mom and down in North Carolina because I couldn't drive for about a month. And she said, "Let me pick you up for lunch. Let's go to lunch." And I said, "Okay, let's go to lunch." And we went to lunch. And when we're at lunch, she was like, "Okay, well, Robertito's going to turn 3, so I think you can come back to work now." And I was like, "Okay." And and it's so funny because she said, and she still works for jewelry, but she is also the Nellis Group expansion director, the COO.
Mhm.
And she said, "You're gonna come, you're gonna meet James, he's gonna love you, and we're gonna all work together." And I said, "Okay." I trust her. It's one of those people that you just trust, and you know that there's nothing in the world they would do to harm you. And I said, "Okay." I went literally like 2 weeks later. I was able to drive again. I drove to Fairfax. I met James, and the rest is history.
Yeah, special shout out to James Nellis. Honestly, the vision is just crazy. I completely rock with the vision. I completely rock with the social media. Everything you guys do for current and former um, clients is amazing. We couldn't make the chili cook off. I know that was an amazing bitch.
It was
The
a
cook
really
offs.
great.
I mean the cookouts you guys had all summer. Like it's phenomenal. I think that the Nellis Group is doing a phenomenal job of being people first, and business second. And that's why we've utilized them. I will always advocate for people to utilize them. It's just you feel like family instead of
Right.
like customer. It's
Right.
crazy
And
that you could do that.
absolutely. And we love our clients. We love what we do. I think it's so important because there's a couple of different and really important parts of a person's life when they get engaged, when they get married, when they buy a house, when they have kids, and we get to be a part of that. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to be a part of that, because once it's like once we work together, we're family. Like, you're not getting rid of me. I will text you. You may not text me back, but I'm going to text you. I'm going to call. I'm going to invite you to things. And it's because I want to see you guys. I want to see you guys. I want to see your family growing. I want to see the kids growing. Whenever, our people, clients have babies, I'm like, somebody give me a baby, because my big now. And I always tell people, they laugh. And I'm like, I'll babysit. Just let me know in advance. And, I want to see the cuties.
Absolutely. Hey, listen now. I got that newborn. We could talk about that baby
Yeah,
because
let me know. I love
daddy's
it.
tired.
I love
But
I love it. I love it.
that's like so. I mean, that's kind of cool. Like how it naturally kind of flowed into your transition, and you ended up somewhere that's great. I mean, hands down, great. I love that. I love the group. Like I said, I'll countlessly say I love what the whole enterprise is representing, and we had the benefit of working with you. And so my next question is like, at what point did you take that kind of like, okay, I'm going to transition into this role, and then decide to just completely dominate in what it is that you do?
Just like you said, I met with James, and, I've met other agents before. I had been asked to join other, real estate companies, and I just never felt, I never felt the same type of connection that I felt when I met with James. And it was very much, when we, on the buy. So we work together, you and I and Jackie, on the sell side. On the buy
Mm-hmm.
side, when we're seeing people and we're looking at houses, I'm the first to say, this is not it. This is not the house. And James made it very clear, and Venus made it very clear, that it is our job to protect our clients' equity, to
Mm,
protect their investment. And it just felt like, wow, this company really wants to invest in people. They really want to take care of their clients. To them, it's not just a transaction, it's not just about the dollar. That $200,000 sale, we're treating the same way that we're treating 1.5 million, because people are people no matter what the dollar sign next to their name says, right?
yeah,
And that was the most important thing to me, because my family came to this country with nothing. And to me, helping people with this American dream, it's like such a beautiful thing. I love it. Like, I get teary eyed, I get emotional. Sometimes I get too emotional, because I love my people. Like, I love what we do.
yeah. I
And
feel
so
like
when I met him, I wanted to work with him.
that's good. I just think I feel like it takes a special person to like connect on people. Like one of the things we talked about when we were working together is just the rapport that you have with people, right? Whether it be on the selling side or the buying side, or working with other, let's say like if you have your clients and then you're meeting the other people who's not your clients, plus um, their realtor and their agent, and it's like you still have tact and diplomacy and democracy. Like you have it all, but at the same time, you still fight and you still advocate and you still push through on that. And that to me, I appreciated that aspect of it as well because we had a bad experience when we tried to sell our house, and it kind of felt like I know a lot of people maybe will testament to this, like you feel like you're a number and an object, you know what I mean? Like you sign a contract, you feel obligated to do stuff, but at some point, if you smart, you like, hold on a second, this is about money. Like it's like, what about me as a person? Like you're
Right.
gonna get paid. We're gonna make sure you get paid, and obviously, I want top dollar, so you can get top dollar. I'm still a human being at the end of the day. I want to know what's going on, and I'm very involved. Um, but that realtor, it ended up breaking contract with them, and then we went to Nellis, and y'all actually helped us rent our house, and then fast forward 4 years, you helped us sell our house,
Hmm.
and when we buy again, y'all will help us buy our house. But
Well, I'm excited.
it goes a long way. I think that the way you treat people, and the from day one, right? It's yeah, you're trying to get the job, but like with you, I always felt like it's people first. So how important is it to you to develop that kind of interpersonal relationship with your clients?
It's the most important. It's the most important. And I mean, I've had clients that I've been working with for over a year and a half, and maybe they're not ready to buy yet for whatever the situation is. Maybe they're not ready to sell yet. Again, for whatever the situation is, because every single person is a different, it's a different situation, right? And so, with that being said, it's like, I want you to trust me so much that you know that whether, and I literally had a person today, just before this podcast, I had someone call me. We last, we gave them a couple of things to do. We spoke with them. We've been keeping in contact with them. It's been almost 2 years now, and they're like, okay, Jasmine, we're ready now. Thank you so much for not giving up on us. And for me, that means more than anything, because they could have went to anybody, but me building the relationship and wanting to, and making sure that they understood that they're the ones that are important to me, not so much the transaction, but how do we get there? And it's funny, I was telling a coworker of mine, I have a house that is being listed soon, and the parent passed away. And so these sellers, the daughters, they were um, interviewing different agents to see which agent they felt was the best fit. And when I met with them, they said, we're not interviewing anybody else. We want to work with you. And they said, we've talked to like 10 people and no one offered condolences. And when I met with them, that was the first thing I said. I mean, their parent passed. How do you not? Like, how is that not the first thing that comes out of your mouth? And
Yeah,
they said, you're the
yeah.
first person that even mentioned, that even offered anything to us, that even offered like, I'm so sorry to hear about, your parent, etc. And they were like, we don't want to deal with anybody else. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's
And
it's it's something to be said about being like a human first. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely
there's so many times in your life when you can not hold a door open, or you can just bump into
right,
somebody, and then all of a sudden it's like the world ended. Instead of like, okay, well, maybe that person is going through something and that's why they weren't paying attention, or like
right.
if somebody stopped at a stoplight, the first instinct is what? To honk your horn. I always wait. I count to like 5, and then I give them a gentle little nudge, But like, you never know. Maybe they're on the phone, or like maybe they're not paying attention, or maybe they
Yeah,
just have
maybe they just
something
got
going
bad news.
on. Like, and so I appreciate that. That you take that stuff into consideration. So as far as real estate, there's a couple of avenues that a lot of people can go down, and as far as securing your financing and stuff like that. We did one question on VA loans. So
Mhm.
is that something you could touch bases on?
So yeah, we work with a few really great local lenders. Um, of course, any banks that people want to utilize, we're happy to work with. I will say local lenders are like mom and pop shops. They're just going to be a different level of customer service.
Hmm.
Um, they're going to, offer better rates, usually offer better programs. With a VA, we're going to want to make sure that eligibility has been established. That's the most important thing. And all of our lenders are able to assist, get that certificate of eligibility and things like that. We want to understand exactly what you're eligible for. We want to make sure that, that we just have all of our ducks in a row. VA loan is a great product. It's funded, it's government backed, it's government funded, 0% down payment. And a lot of times, closing costs can be less. And then, of course, it's going to be, you know, case by case. So, what is their disability percentage? Depending on their
Hmm.
disability percentage, maybe there's no funding fee, maybe there's no property taxes. But again, it's always going to be case by case, and definitely happy to connect someone with one of our local lenders.
Okay. And that's something that's kind of like, once you start making that determination and decision whether or not you want to buy or you sell, and you start to explore the options, do you start to explore the financing piece first, or do you look for a realtor first? That's always a question I've had. Absolutely, D-Ron. He's going to hit it, man. Thank you for asking that question. Sorry, Jasmine. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. And, if he has more questions, welcome to message me on Instagram. And let me, I'm happy to answer any questions, and I'm happy to make those connections. Um, you know, it's always, again, it's always case by case. Um, I think it's important to establish a relationship with an agent. And a lot of times agents will have connections and relationships with lenders, and then they can connect you there. But some people, they're with Navy Federal. They're like, you know what? I want to use Navy Federal for my loan. And they go ahead and fill everything out with Navy Federal and keep it moving. I think, figure out the agent that you want to work with, talk to different agents, figure out who works for you, who doesn't work for you. There's not just one mold. We're all different people. We all, have different things to offer. We all specialize in different things, specialize in different areas. You know, I our company that, something that I tell people all the time, and people kind of like, they kind of, once I say it, they're like, oh yeah, I could specialize in Baltimore all the way to Spotsylvania County. And that's, the Nellis Group, we cover Baltimore all the way down to DC, and then DC, and then all the way down to Spotsylvania out west.
Yeah.
But do I really specialize in all those places, or do I just cover all those places? So
Yeah.
if you're looking in Fredericksburg, you want somebody that specializes in Fredericksburg.
That's
And
exactly what happened to us the first time.
right.
And we felt so, I mean, I literally moved to Germany. Like we had an offer. This is pre the craziness that just happened, but like we had an offer day one. When we listed, we had an offer. That person was allowed to walk away. This is why I want to do a kind of running series on this, because it's important to have these kind of conversations so people can grasp that kind of reality. But they walked away. Because they walked away, then we had another offer like immediate. We ended up with 4 offers in 1 week, right?
Oh wow.
And we ended up taking the first offer. They somehow another backed out. It was quick. It happened kind of quick. So then we got our second offer, but it was that kind of runaround. We were thinking, oh my God, we're in there, we're good. And then we don't know what happened to our realtor. Like that person, I'm not even going to use pronouns. So that person, I guess I am using pronouns. They just kind of like disappeared. But that wasn't it. Like now knowing what I know and what you just said, that literally wasn't their area of expertise at all. They specialize in $1 million homes and not inside of this area, usually Vienna, Oakton. We were living in Alexandria, so we were on the edge of their kind of target. And so, they did the typical stuff and like listed us on their website and did a little pub. But when those offers fell through, it was like they went ghost. And it was like, oh, so when it gets hard, it's just that to me just showed it was a cash cow. And then I moved to Germany. They didn't even tell us we needed to do the power of attorney or anything like that. I, through my fraternity brother, found out that part. And so I got Jackie to do it. Hey, Shakira. My sister just came in, so I'm gonna say hey to her. But so I was able to do that part. But like what you're saying is so important. Like it's an interview process, and that's what I always tell my clients too when I'm coaching them is you don't have to select me as a coach if we're not meant to. Like if we do our discovery session and we're not meshing, then I'm actually probably going to say, hey, I don't know if I'm the right coach for you, and here's why. If you work with that, then let's see if we can meet in the middle. Let's do our coaching agreement, let's do our relationship, and let's see how we can build a rapport. But here's a list of other coaches that may be better suited for you. Because I feel like it does them disservice if it's going to be kind of hearted, you're not going to progress as much. And things are going to hit the fan. Things are going to get hard.
Yeah, it's true. And with our team, it's great because with us being in the Metro DC area, we need people that can cover. So there's plenty of times where we'll have a client and it's like, well, I don't know if I want to be in Fort Washington or if I want to be in Arlington, and we're like, not an issue at all. I can help you on the Virginia side, and so from our team can help you on the Maryland side. We're all the Nellis Group. You don't have to worry about how we're getting paid. We take care, we worry about that because that's the other thing. People are like, well, who do I pay? Do I have to pay you for? Don't worry about any of that. We want to make sure that we can help you simultaneously and that you're getting the best service possible. Because we've had that where we've had a client that I'll show them properties in Virginia and then they leave me. And in the afternoon, they're just looking at properties in Maryland. And then they decide, okay, this is going to this is going to work best for me. And then our lenders can help them in the Virginia, Maryland, or DC. So they only have to deal with one lender. So only the one credit pull, but they can look in all three jurisdictions at the same exact time without breaking that, brokerage relationship, or, we call it going behind the sign when you kind of cheat on your agent, things like that. So there's no ethics being violated or anything like that. We're able to give the best customer service possible.
What would be, if you could give advice to anybody who's like, because like the advice I always got, and which I'm like, as I'm learning more, I'm kind of like, the first advice I got was like pre-approval, right? Just go get pre-approved. But like now I'm kind of like, you kind of have a feeling of what you can manage and what you can afford.
Right.
And you should have a decent, if you don't know your finances, then I feel like that's why it's important to contact a realtor first, because then they can kind of help you lay that out. So like, what would be kind of like, to anybody, like, despite like buying or selling, like what's the kind of number one advice you would give?
Number one advice that I would give would definitely be just being honest with yourself and not being scared to hurt my feelings. And I tell people all the time, when we go to a property, tell me if you don't like it. I don't live there. I don't take it personal. And I have to know what you don't like so that I can figure out what you do like and I can understand that. And just be honest with me. I'm here to help. I'm here to assist. If you're having a bad day or if you need me to pray for you, let me know. I'm happy to do that. We're a family, we're a team, we work together. But that would be my biggest advice would be definitely is figure out who works for you. Figure out, don't be scared. Don't, just because it's your sister's, brother's, cousin's boyfriend or whatever, you don't have to use that person. You can utilize who makes sense for you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people sometimes feel obligated to utilize somebody because, like I said, it's a relative, it's a this, it's a that. Great. Who's the expert in that field? Because if you need brain surgery, you're not going to go to your neighbor because, they're a podiatrist, and you're like, well, they're a doctor. I want to give them an opportunity to get paid. No, let's figure out who's the brain surgeon, and let's go to that person. Let's go to the person that you feel the most comfortable with.
Oh, I want to drop some tea right now, but I'm not going to, because firsthand, I definitely know exactly what you're talking about, and so glad that we made the decisions that we made because we were prepared and we were honest and open, and the communication was there, and it was nothing to hide, nowhere to hide either. But you were able to help us manage that situation, and we're so grateful for the Nellis Group and helping us deal with that. So a minute left before you do your wrap up, though. I just want to tell everybody who's listening and still here, thank you for showing up. I'm gonna wrap up after Jasmine, but I want to say that I feel real estate is too big to capture in 30 minutes. And we barely got to talk to Jasmine, and so I will be inviting Jasmine back, and we'll try to run a mini series here on real estate. We could try to hit the investors and everybody commercial and everything, but it's such a big thing to capture in 30 minutes. And so we just kind of wanted to do a little summary and get the conversation started, because 99% of every battle is just having a conversation. So Jasmine, I'll let you go ahead, and if you want to wrap up.
Well, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it. I love your family. I'm happy to be on the show as many times as you want. I may, bring some people along with me that can offer really great information. My phone number is 703-398-5376. I'm happy to take calls or text messages. Hit me up on Instagram, Jasmine Sophia 82. Happy to answer whatever questions and definitely be a resource. Even if it's, oh, I need somebody to clean my house, or I need an HVAC person, I'm happy to make those connections. Anybody that I have, I'm happy to refer out.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Jasmine. It's been a pleasure
Thanks for having
working with you in this capacity. I'm looking forward to continuing the conversations, keeping the conversation going, and learning more about what's out there, how the market is doing,
Right.
I feel like it's one of those things that it's nice to talk about, and because this is your time in and we're helping people unpause their life, a lot of people get stuck up on those big changes, and that's kind of hopefully opening up this conversation will help those people make some decisions in their life. Like hopefully we are able to help D-Ron understand the VA loans just a little bit more,
Right.
and develop a resource for him outside of just what the internet has to offer. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. You're so welcome. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Just to summarize and wrap up, we are looking into two different things. The first thing I am looking into for just Twitch, running a just Twitch series. I haven't identified the day, but what I want to do is highlight streamers on Twitch, big communities, small communities, it doesn't matter. But highlight streamers on Twitch, have them come on for a segment, interview them, talk about their experiences, help their communities grow, and just kind of, I don't know, just have conversations with people who are using that platform, whether it be for gaming or talk show or conversations or music. I recently came across some great streamers doing some great things and had some great conversations, and opened up my mind to what the community or the enterprise of Twitch actually has to offer outside of what I used to watch it for, which is just gaming. Okay. So your time in wants to tap into that. We also want to get into running kind of series as well. 30 minutes is great for podcast episodes, even if we do chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, to help you guys while you're driving around in your car, maybe doing some chores around the house, whatever you got going on. The 30 minutes is perfect for that. However, when we get into the information and we get into stuff that's interest or piques your interest, or there's just a big subject like real estate, we want to run series on that. So we're going to work on that as well. Thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for everybody who showed up today. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing out. Thank you for being your genuine self. As always, we appreciate you. This is your time in. Thank you for rocking with us.